Miller here with our BFD Advisors. And of course with me today is Sean Duncan, the D, and Don Brolin, the B, and super excited to have with us from Keeper, Ben Stein. We are in Vegas right now at the Aria at QuickBooks Connect, and it has been, I feel like 3 weeks, but it's been 2 days. But it's been
two. It's like a day and a half.
Oh, it hasn't even been 2 days. Well, some of us started a little bit early, but it's a positive thing, not like a when is this going to end. It feels like we've been here forever, as we've talked about in previous podcasts, and we love these things. Anyhow, Ben, we would love to know who you are, maybe where you're from, something about you. Tell everybody who you are.
So I am Ben Stein. I'm the CEO of Keeper. We're based in Austin, Texas. Nominally based in Austin, Texas, but we've got employees in 5 countries now and 6 states.
Wow.
And we make software to help bookkeepers run a better month-end close. So it's tools to help communicate with clients, tools to help review books and catch coding errors, tools to help generate reporting that clients will actually read, and tools to help everything else that accountants do. Tracking 1099s to managing files and all manner of good and less good stuff.
Less good, I love it. So Ben, you are or are not an accountant?
So no letters at the end of my last name, but I am, I do our own books. I used to be the CFO of a startup when we were really small. I did their books, and I've managed outsourced accounting firms as well in doing that.
I think his letter should be Ben Stein, BFD.
It should be BFD.
Really, that's just it. That's his credentials.
BS, BFD.
So
I like that.
The reason I wanted to point out that even though Ben is here with Keeper and he's like, hey, I've got this amazing software, our topic today is 1099s and why are they such a nightmare. You know, right now it's...
Okay, we're doing that.
Right now,
this is just normal.
I got it. Sorry. Yeah, we got it. I got him.
It's cool.
I'll take care of it.
So right now, when we're filming this, it's December, and when it probably airs, it's going to be January, February. We're still going to be in the midst, if accounting, businesses, whatever, of the 1099 nightmare. And I know as accounting firms, we dread it. Like that's all we're talking about now is, are we ready for 1099? So Ben, both you personally, you as a business owner, whatever, what is your experience with 1099s?
Yeah. So I think 1099s suck because they unequivocally suck because by the time you recognize the problem that you have on your hands, it's too late. So when you really should be thinking about 1099s is every month when you pay new vendors.
Yes.
And you collect the documentation that you need, not every November when you see all the new vendors that you paid, and then you go start building out a spreadsheet to track what is now inevitably a nightmare.
Well, everybody is willing to share the W-9 information to you after you've already paid them because they're really generous about saying,
yeah, right,
make sure I'm taxable.
They want
really, it's never
right. I've already got my money, but let me give you my social now so you can narc on me to the government. That's what they're saying, right? That's my point of view. No one else is. So, what do you do? I mean, how do we all solve for that? Because we all have that, right? And you can preach to your team, to everybody all the time. Do not pay a bill unless you have a 1099. Just because we W-9 somebody doesn't mean that they're necessarily going to be 1099 at the end of the year, right? Some people need to realize that, but us as business owners and paying, we have to do our due diligence and collect it in case we're audited. And right? I mean, can you speak more to that? What is your opinion?
Solve this.
Yeah.
Tell everyone, Ben.
Now.
So I think nowhere is this more applicable than in the case of 1099s and W-9s. An ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure. And it's by making that process of reviewing which W-9s you have, reviewing which W-9s you don't have and you need, and staying on top of your vendor list proactively, you take an annual process and make it a monthly process. Not only are you smoothing out all of that work, but also you are requesting it when not everyone else is also all requesting this W-9, so you can smooth out all that work, and then also by virtue of making it a monthly process, it's a good way of instilling that in your team to know that that's something that's important.
It's a habit. It becomes a habit so that everybody's on board and it's not some big, we're doing something new again. Yeah.
Then it becomes a process and policy and procedure instead of a hassle. It's no, we will pay you when. And there are softwares out there that make that take this manual labor out of it, right? Ben, I think yours does it, doesn't it?
Yeah. So we do. We have a report to help you find all the vendors that you are missing all this documentation for. Help you request that directly from the vendors, request it from your clients, fill in the information, fill out e-sign W-9. So.
It e-signs too.
Yeah, so
I haven't used that function yet.
Yeah,
That's
so you can send a request to the vendor. If the vendor has their W-9, they can upload it. If they don't, they can actually fill out the form and e-sign a W-9 at the end. And then you can, with a single click, push all of that data back to QuickBooks. So it'll like pull out, extract the email, extract the address, extract the EIN or Social Security, and push all that back to you.
I feel like every time I meet Ben, I learn some new cool feature to keep her. Like every time I turn around.
That's because they add new, I'm on their mailing list, and they add new features every week, I'm telling you. So Ben, you just said a lot of cool things, and our core audience isn't all accounts, a lot of it's business, and if I was a business owner, I'd be like, what is this? Is it only for, like anybody can use it, right? Like if you just have a business, you don't have to be an accountant. I can run all my 1099s through that.
Yeah, so theoretically anyone can sign up. I will say our marketing is very much geared towards accountants, outsourced accountants, but if you know what you're doing and you run a standard monthly close and you also have this pain point of 1099 management, W-9 collection, you can absolutely use it.
Yeah, I know. We just started using it a few months ago. We were introduced to it, and of course, my biggest exciting feature was the 1099s. There's so much more than just that, for obvious reasons. But the 1099s, we've really just struggled with, number one, even if we're overseeing books for a client, maybe they have an in-house bookkeeper, and they're not really paying attention to the process. It's a really easy way for us to evaluate real quick where they stand with the W-9s and communicate with that bookkeeper to say, hey, listen, we may not be doing the books ourselves. They may have an in-house bookkeeper. And so it allows us from that advisory conversation, which I think is also super important, to say, listen, we're going to do, not only are we going to oversee your books, but we're going to monitor some processes that we know should have a compliance gap. And that's an area that you just can't mess up. And so I think that what your tool is allowing us to do is put that, if you were a roofer, putting a ladder in the toolbox. Like, you got to get on the stinking roof, right? In order for me to be a good roofer, I've got to do that. But you're allowing us to have tools in the toolbox that we need.
Right.
And 1099s is just a tiny little sliver, but it's such a very important one.
But they are stressful. Everybody stresses. I know we'll have clients on the phone, they're like, oh my God, can you do my 1099s? I'm like, simmer down. It's, just let me see your list and we can knock those out. But the problem is when you have 100 of your clients coming to you and each of them have 10, 15, 20, then you have to track down all those people, which is also a chargeable service for.
I'm glad you said that's exactly what I was going to say. This is now to my world of the advisory service, right?
Yeah.
Charge for it.
Yeah, don't do that for free. And as business owners, it's so easy to set up the policy where you just tell people, I will pay you when you give me this form, and that's not me that made this decision. That's the IRS, and you got to go to them to be mad about it. So.
Yeah, for the accounting practitioners, I want to hear that again. How many times are we people pleasers and we're like, oh, I'll take care of that, I'll help that, and you decide to quarterback the chase down and help them out, and then don't charge, or heaven forbid you charged hourly for that, when really it created so much value to the client. This is one of those moments where you can productize their pain, and you really want them to do it right as the year goes. So here's a trick. Make the price of the mess they made so painful that you can get them on track with the right process going forward. And then your life and their life is easier and you've brought a whole bunch of value. But you get to make money and you're I hate to say it's like with our kids, right? You're teaching them, stop that. And then you get the best processes that Ben was describing.
I also found that when they come to you and they're like, oh my God, do this, and you say, okay, it's going to be like $500. Like, that's terrible. I'm like, well, do you want to do it? No. Well, I don't either, so you're going to pay me for it. But at least we're going to get it done right, and then hopefully, like Sean's saying, you're not going to make that mistake again, because no one wants to pay $500 every year or $1,000 or whatever it is to track down your 1099s. But Ben doesn't have to do this anymore, right? Ben solved for this. Because Ben, you're co-founder, and you helped create this. So I have tried to actually I'm like, Ben, we need to be your accountant, we need to do your books. And Ben says, no, I need to close my own books because I use my product. So he's not only an owner, he is a client. So Ben lives this stuff, which I truly love when people are like living in it. So tell us. We've talked a lot about Keeper, and typically we try to talk more about the topic. But I know it's something we are all very passionate about as business owners and accountants. So I want to hear a little bit more about the product because I think it's super cool, and I honestly think there's nothing out there like it. To be
that's one of the things I wanted to say, Ben, because at the end of the day, the fact that you may mark something in QuickBooks that they're 1099 eligible, like the reports in QuickBooks are great. Like it'll tell you if you've got them all marked up and they've got their EIN and all in there, but there's just such a bigger process that needs to happen, and I've not found a tool that can do what you do.
Nothing.
Nowhere.
Nothing. Yeah, talk to us more about that. Tell us a little bit more about that, and tell us more about some amazing features. Like I said, both Dawn and I are using it. Sean's firm uses it. My firms use it. So, and I use it personally to close my own books. So, and I love it. So it can be used for all sorts of things. So give us some more.
So basically, what you can think of is for each client, you've got a checklist. And on that checklist, it's a list of things. Some of them are just tasks, the same way you'd have a checklist in any of the 1 million different task management solutions you can use. But other of those tasks are pulling QuickBooks data, and that allows you to actually do your work in your workflow system. So you don't have this like separate window where you're like tracking what you need to do, and then the actual window where you do that work, that's all in one place. So you have this standardized process that you know your team is actually following, that can catch errors, that can write back to QuickBooks, that can generate reporting at month end. So, and that can importantly allow you to easily communicate with your clients throughout the entire close and throughout the entire advisory journey beyond just the close. That's really the key of what we do, and when you frame it like that, like 1099s can just become this one piece of a broader set of things.
And it's a task at the end of every month. And I really do want to say, it does sound like accounting, but in business, there are a lot of entrepreneurs, a lot of startups out there, a lot of clients that even when they come to us, that the CFO, the CEO, they're doing their books, they're handling this. And I feel like this was a very, very easy tool once it connected to QuickBooks for them to hop in. The UI was simple. There was templates already in there. It read everything in. I honestly, even if I didn't know accounting, I could easily hop in. And my favorite thing that I love about this is they have on the balance sheet, it's like what I call balance sheet for dummies, no offense, but it'll tell you, this means that you have, like it tells you what all the line items are. Like this is an asset, it means you have something. This is a liability, it means you owe something. So I like that because just because you own a business and you're doing the books doesn't necessarily mean you understand the details, but this product really lays it out for you. And it's not expensive. It's extremely.
No, don't tell him that. Don't tell him that because then he's going to raise it.
He's going to raise it. It's extremely.
We do just fine.
Yeah.
It's very affordable.
Yeah,
sure.
It's anyhow, and they're always
a no-brainer.
I know I'm talking for you about your product, but I think that should say a lot about it because we all know Sharon's very. I'm very passionate about fintech, and this is another one of those products that I'm super passionate about. So, in wrapping this up, Ben, is there anything else you want to give us, tell us, anything you want to let the audience know? Where should they go to look up your products? Of course, we'll have links, but maybe they want to hear from you.
So best way to find us is keeper.app. We love talking to customers. We love talking to new people who might be interested in using the tool. So door is very much always open. If you feel like you are frustrated with, you've got QuickBooks and 7 or 8 other tabs open to get your financials out the door and run your close, definitely check us out.
Absolutely. Awesome. I love it. We love it. Like I said, we are all users. We're all big fans of Ben and Kenny and everything they've done at Keeper, and we're so excited to be able to even work with them. Wish you all luck during 1099 season. Get Keeper. It'll be a little bit easier and at least get you on track for next one. And until our next episode, have a wonderful life.